Ang motion for reconsideration ni Director General Bantag ay muli hindi kinatigan ng DOJ dahil wala itong merit o speculation o haka-haka lamang. Ang itinaas na argumento ay conflict of resolution raw ang ombudsman at ang DOJ dahil nag-file itong si Director General Bantag ng murder case labang kay S.O.J. Remulla at Katapang at ang mabasa naman ay nag-file ng murder case kay Director General Bantag kaya magkakaroon ito ng conflict ng resolution at pinapa-inhibit ang Department of Justice upang ang kaso ay makonsolidate sa ombudsman. Ito ay haka-haka at hindi kinatigan ng Department of Justice dahil ang ombudsman at ang Department of Justice ay separate agencies at may sarili itong proseso bawat isa sa kanila na sinusunod. At ang pangalawa nilang tinas na issue ay bias raw si S.O.J. Remulla at magbibigay ito ng impluwensya sa mga prosecutor sa pagresolba o pagkandak ng preliminary investigation, pag-establish ng probable cause. Ang pananaw nila dahil sumagot si S.O.J. Remulla sa mga interviews sa mga media patungkol sa involvement ni Director General Bantag sa kaso sa Percy ay bias na. Hindi porket sumagot sa interview si S.O.J. Remulla ay bias na, maliban lang kung may documentary evidence na itong si S.O.J. Remulla ay bias. Ang motion for inhibition ay buong DOJ ang pina-inhibit. Ayon sa 5-man prosecutor, ito raw ay beyond sa kanilang authority dahil wala naman batas na magbibigay ng authority sa mga prosecutor o sa buong DOJ na sila ay mag-inhibit. Kaya ito ay speculation o haka-haka, kaya hindi kinatigan. Maaari sigurong katigan ang motion nila ng Department of Justice kung ang constitutional requirements ng Section 3, Department of Justice Memo Circular number 027 ay makumply. Ang unawa ko sa nasabing constitutional requirements ay itong right to be heard. Both parties, ang complainant at ang respondent na si Director General Bantag, ay may karapatan silang dinggin ang kanilang hinanaing na ayon sa proseso na nakasaad sa batas. Nag-file ang kaso ang mabasa pabilis sa Department of Justice. Sila ang may preferential na humanap ng jurisdiction dahil sila ang biktima. Hindi si Director General Bantag ang may karapatan na humanap ng jurisdiction na magresolba sa kaso. So required dito si Director General Bantag na mag-submit ng counter affidavit upang maresolba ng prosecutor ang kaso kung may probable cause ba ito. At kung inakala ni Director General Bantag na hindi binatayan ang mga attachment na ebidensya sa kanilang counter affidavit at nalabag ang proseso, ay maaari na silang mag-file ng appeal for review sa Secretary of Justice at mag-file ng motion for inhibition kung sa akala nila na itong si S.O.J. Remulla ay bias nga. Ang nangyari ay hindi nila kinumply ang nasabing constitutional requirements. Ang gusto nila ang PI ay ilipat sa ombudsman kaya hindi kinatigan ng Department of Justice dahil ito ay labag sa proseso at saligang batas. Ang further explanation nito ay si Atty. Kusing ang magpapaliwanag ang vlogger ng katotohanan at pawang katotohanan. Katotohanan ang kanyang binablog dahil mayroon siyang binabatayan ng batas. Taliwas kay General Macanas at mga vloggers ni Bantag ay pawang sariling kuro-kuro lamang at walang binabatayan ng batas. Kaya kasinungalingan o fake news ang kanilang pinagsasabi dito sa social media.
At ito po ang ating i-discuss ngayon. Una ay bagsak na sa wakas ang inhibition ni Bantag. Wala na siyang choice kundi mag-submit na lang ng kanyang counter affidavit o kontra salaysay sa mga testimonya o aligasyon o affidavit ng mga preso na tinuturo siya na siya yung nag-utos kay Zulueta na maghanap ng killer para ipapatay kay Percy Lapid. Ito po, press. Pinadala po ito sa akin ng panel of prosecutors. Ito, resibo ko, ebidensya ko. Hindi po ako nagkwento-kwento lang. Ito yan tingnan mo, titulo ng kaso yan. Kay Noel Gomez is watching. Ito. Ito, order. Order, di ba? Order. Ngayon, si Lyndon Bautista watching also. Ngayon, ang isa lang ang ibig ng mensahe dito ibig sabihin. No? Ang ibig lang sabihin dito ay dinesisyonan na ng panel of prosecutors na ibasura yung tinatawag na motion for reconsideration ni Bantag sa tungkol sa pagbasura ng motion for inhibition niya. At ang nangyari, inutusan siya ngayon ng panel of prosecutors na mag-submit o magsumiti ng kanyang sagot na sa mga reklamo salaysay laban sa kanya. At binigyan po siya na sa basahin ko ito. Yan. Binigyan siya ng So, ang decision, itong utos ng si Sunny, utos ng tinatawag na panel of prosecutors. Basahin ko. Wherefore, premises considered, the instant motion for reconsideration of DJ Gerald Kitalig Bantag is hereby denied for lack of merit. Noting the limited period provided for the conduct of preliminary investigation under the rules of court and the revised manual for prosecutors 2017 edition. The preliminary investigation is set on February 8, 2023 at 2 p.m. at room 2 and 3, Justice Hall Building, Department of Justice, Padre Paura Street, Ermita, Manila. So, ngayon, bago order ng panel prosecutor, this resolves the motion for reconsideration filed by Respondent Gerald Q. Bantag on the order dated 17 January 2023, denying his motion for inhibition of the panel of prosecutors and the entire Department of Justice. On 24 January 2023, the panel clarified during the hearing whether the complainants intend to file their respective comments on the motion of Respondent Bantag, while complainants Philippine National Police, National Capital Region Police Office, National Bureau of Investigation, National Capital Region, and complainant Mabasa through counsel manifested that they will all submit the same resolution. Complainant Amago, however, asked the panel for time to decide whether she will file a comment on the motion. Complainant Amago was given until 27 January 2023 to file her comment, but before the lapse of the said period, the panel received her letter on 25 January 2023 stating that she does not anymore intend to file comment on the motion and therefore submitting the same for resolution. After a perusal of the arguments and the grounds relied upon by Respondent Bantag, there is no cogent reason to warrant the reversal or modification of the order denying his motion for inhibition. It appears his arguments in the instant motion are mere rehash of all matters and issues which had already been discussed, addressed, and ruled upon in the assailed order, and therefore should not be belabored anew in this order. Respondent Bantag argues that because of the pendency of a similar criminal complaint filed before the Office of the Ombudsman, the denial of his motion for inhibition will result in the possible conflict of resolution between the DOJ and OMB. In order to avoid possible conflict, it is better that the two cases be considered consolidated to the OMB, which has concurrent jurisdiction with the DOJ, as the cases before the DOJ and OMB are in the nature of a charge and countercharge. Accordingly, the DOJ should inhibit and transfer the preliminary investigation of the cases to the OMB. That was the argument of Bantag. Moreover, Respondent Bantag reiterates the issue of bias and partiality of the DOJ. As such, the preliminary investigation of these cases is best to be transferred to the Ombudsman, since its impartiality has not been questioned by any of the parties. However, the panel is clear when it explained that preliminary investigation and petition for review of criminal cases before the Department of Justice are two independent proceedings or procedures as provided by the rules of court and relevant issuances. Petition for review under the rules of court and the DOJ's relevant issuances, including Department Circular Number 027, dated 13 July 2022, cited by Respondent Bantag, is a procedural remedy that may be availed of by all parties in preliminary investigation cases. All resolutions thereof are only approved by the Chief of Office, such as the Prosecutor General, Provincial Prosecutor, or City Prosecutor, as the case may be. This is clear under the rules of court and the DOJ relevant issuances. The DOJ neither participates in the conduct of preliminary investigation nor approves the resolution thereof. Apparently, for the panel to inhibit the entire DOJ is beyond its authority because it will also include the proceedings or procedure applicable to petition for reviews under the DOJ. Otherwise stated, to rule on the inhibition of the entire DOJ would be contrary to existing laws and rules of procedures. Anent the alleged bias and impartiality of the panel by reason of control and supervision exercised by the SOG over the NPS or National Prosecution Service, where panel prosecutors belong, the same is purely speculative, kwento-kwento lang, as control and supervision being exercised by the SOG over the NPS does not extend in the conduct of preliminary investigation. Notably, the panel never made any statements or pronouncements against any party in these cases that would indicate the scintilla of bias and partiality. Under the pain of being repetitive, we reiterate our order dated 17 January 2023, which reads in part, to wit, to put things in its right perspective, it is worthy to mention that the preliminary investigation and petition for review of criminal cases before the Department of Justice are two independent proceedings or procedures as provided by the rules of court and relevant issuances. Petition for review under the rules of court and the DOJ's relevant issuances, including DC number 027 dated 13 July 2022, cited by Respondent Bantag, is a procedural remedy that may be availed of by all parties in preliminary investigation cases. All resolutions thereof are only approved by the Chief of Office, such as the Prosecutor General, Provincial Prosecutor, or City Prosecutor, as the case may be. This is clear under the rules of court and the DOJ relevant issuances. The SOG neither participates in the conduct of preliminary investigation nor approves the resolutions thereof. Apparently, for the panel to inhibit the entire DOJ is beyond its authority because it will also include the proceedings or procedure applicable to petition for reviews under the DOJ. Otherwise stated, to rule on the inhibition of the entire DOJ would be contrary to existing laws and rules of procedures. Anent the alleged bias and impartiality of the panel by reason of control and supervision exercised by the SOG over the NPS, the same is purely speculative, as control and supervision being exercised by the SOG over the National Prosecution Service does not extend in the conduct of preliminary investigation. Notably, the panel never made any statement or pronouncements against any party in these cases that would indicate scintilla of bias and partiality. Also, the order dated January 17, 2023 is explicit or very clear that the Department of Justice has jurisdiction in these cases and it shall continue until all these cases are terminated. Thus, when these cases for murder were filed by the complainants against the respondents, including Respondent Bantag, the authority and jurisdiction of the Department of Justice through the NPS to conduct preliminary investigation is to the exclusion of the OMB or Ombudsman, not only pursuant to the MOA, but applicable jurisprudence relating to concurrent jurisdictions. The panel, having acquired jurisdiction, it shall continue until these cases are terminated. As admitted by Respondent Bantag, the criminal complaint filed before the Ombudsman and the instant complaints are in the nature of charge and countercharge. If this is the case, then the consolidation of the cases should be before the panel. Dapat sa panel mo sinampa yan. It having acquired jurisdiction over the cases to the exclusion of the Ombudsman pursuant to the Memorandum Agreement between the DOJ and the Ombudsman, rules of procedures, and related jurisprudence. Wherefore, premises considered, the instant motion for reconsideration of DJ Bantag is hereby denied for lack of merit. Noting the limited period provided for the conduct of preliminary investigation under the Rules of Court and the Revised Manual Procedures 2017 edition, the preliminary investigation is set on February 8, 2023 at 2 p.m. at room 203, Justice Hall Building, Department of Justice, Padre Faura Street, Ermita, Manila, for the submission of counter affidavits of the respondents and their witnesses. Failure to submit them within the period specified should be considered as a waiver of their right to do so and will result to the case being submitted for resolution. Yeah! Wala nang option si Bantag kundi magsumiti ng kanyang counter affidavit. At malapit-lapit na. Hindi bali na maabot ang Valentine's Day na sa labas ka pa ng kulungan. Okay lang po yan. Mr. Bantag. So ngayon, Tagalogin natin. Pinapaliwanag ko lang dito na sinasabi ng panel of prosecutors ay inulit lang ni Bantag yung kanyang mga argumento nung nakaraan sa kanyang motion for inhibition. So kung inulit, hindi na dapat ulitin pa, desisyonan, titingnan ng panel of prosecutors. So, ayan. Sige. So ngayon, na-discuss ko na po na napipilitan ni si Gerald Bantag na magsabit ng kanyang counter affidavit. So ngayon may tanong lang, ano kaya po ang mangyayari sa kanyang affidavit? Anong gagawin niyan, magiging laman? Well, ito po ang mga sasagutin. Sa counter affidavit po, ang kahit sinong abogado na tutulong sa inyo, kahit hindi ka abogado, siyempre sasagutin mo mga paratang laban sa iyo. Di ba? Ngayon, kung sasagutin mo lahat ang paratang laban sa iyo, ibig sabihin ay dapat siguraduhin mo rin na may depensa mo sarili mo. Di ba? Ganun na kasimple yan. So, ngayon, paano madepensa ni si Dexter Yap, no? Paano may depensa ni Mr. Bantag yung kanyang sarili? Una, ang akusasyon ganito. Na kanyang pag-isipan kung paano niya kontrahin. Ang tatlong commander ng gang dyan sa loob ng Bilibid ay nagtuturo kay Bantag na siya ang nagutos kay Sulwita para maghanap ng killer at may papatay si Bantag. So, ang problema nila ni Bantag, which is to be fair to Bantag, ay sinabi naman ng mga commander na hindi nila nakita yung muka at ang katawan ni Bantag nang sila kinakausap ni Sulwita. Ganun po, totoo. Kaya tama po rin po si Bantag magsabi na may nagsabi sa kanya na NBI daw na wala naman daw kami ebidensya na magtuturo na nakikita siya. Correct, that's true. But the problem is, kung totoo, parang binababoy mong aming ebidensya, bakit hindi ka nasusumite nung nag-inhibition ka pa? Hindi ka nasusumite ng iyong tinatawag na counter affidavit. So kung ganon, mag-submit ka na kasi mahina, di ba? Pero ito ngayon, wala ka ng option. Sa totoo lang, dalawa ng option niya. It's either mamili siya, magsumiti siya ng kanyang sagot o hindi. Kung hindi siya masasagot, ibig sabihin, hindi na makukontra yung mga paratang sa kanya ng mga tatlong commander at nung isa pang bilanggo na ang pangalan is Denver Mayores. Di ba? Ganun lang kasimple. So, Mr. Batag, yan, sabihin nyo, mag-discuss kayo ni Atty. Balisong kung paano nyo kontrahin yun. Siyempre, na-expect ko na yan, ng inyong isasagot yan una, ay mahina ang credibility ng mga bilanggo. Well, that depends. Kasi pagdating lang sa pagsasabi kung may chance ba yan sa korte o wala, may chance po. Kahit po rape victim, kahit po sa prostitute, may karapatan din magreklamo ng rape. Kasi hindi naman ibig sabihin na prostitute siya, hindi siya pwedeng i-rape. Di ba? Ganun lang kasimple. So, yan ang una nilang depensa. Number 2 na depensa nila, hindi naman nakita yung mukha ni Bantag. Which is totoo naman. Pero, paano nyo yariin ang sinasabi na kilala na kayo ng mga bilanggo na pag sinabi si Bantag, ikaw yun. Pag sinabi si Tanda, ikaw yun. Pag sinabi si Big Boss, ikaw yun. Pag sinabi na si DJ, ikaw yun. Yun ang binabanggit. Yan ang una. So, pangatlo, maraming motibo na ebidensya na may motibo ka magpapatay ka Percy. Ha? Yan, pag-isipan nyo. Hindi na regalo ko na nga sa inyo. Pag-isipan nyo malalim. Number 1, tandaan ninyo na July 24, 2020, nagpalabas ng vlog o live si Mr. Percy Lapid na pinakita niya sa kanyang video na nakuha na sa bahay ni Bantag doon sa Bel Air 3 sa Santa Rosa. Ngayon, ang video, nakikita yung 11 sasakyan sa gilid. Sabi ni Percy, tingnan nyo, si Cinderella ng DOJ, lalaking Cinderella ng DOJ. Yan, yung mga 11 sasakyan na yan, nakapila sa kanya yan. Tapos, nakita rin yung kanyang mansion, yan, sa kanya yan. Yung sinabi ni Percy Lapid. Pero wala po siyang binabanggit na si Bantag yun. Kundi sinabi niya lang, lalaking Cinderella ng DOJ. Ganun lang ko simple. So ngayon, kung bakit ko binabanggit ito, ay ito ay magpapakita ng motibo. O ano ang meron dyan halaga? So, Mr. Bantag, ito, depensa mo na maigi. Anong meron dyan na kung bakit magagamit namin motibo? Ganito po yun. Sinabi mo na noong September 5, ang July 24 pala, 2020, ang pinalabas pala doon ni Percy Lapid ay nauna sa lahat. No, nagkamali ako. July 24, 2020 ay ang pagpalabas ni Percy Lapid ng kanyang live vlog na namatay daw pinalabas na patay daw si JB Sebastian pero buhay. At nabigay ata ng 100 million. At pinalabas ding patay si Amin Buratong na buhay. Pero buhay pala. So ngayon, hinahamon ko si Mr. Katapang at saka Mr. Remulla at ang National Bureau of Investigation na magsagawa kayo ng investigasyon. Kunan niyo po ng DNA sample ang katawan ni Amin Buratong na nakalibing doon sa Norsagaray. At kunan nyo ng DNA sample din ang kahit sino sa anak ni Amin Buratong. Kumpareha ang DNA, ibig sabihin si Buratong yon, di ba? Ganun lang kasimple pag-verify. Pero kung umiba, hindi si Buratong yon. Ganun lang ho kasimple. So, siguro naman, kung hindi makagalaw yung DOJ sa ganun, magsasagawa siguro kami ng reklamo na may karapatan naman siguro kahit sinong citizen o mamamayan ay may karapatan magreklamo. Siyempre, drug convict yan. Na ireklamo, titingnan kung talagang pinalaya o namatay si Amin Buratong. Siyempre, nadidelikado ang mamamayan. Marami na naman. Alam niyo naman, Shabot Queen King yun, si Amin Buratong. So, ganun po ang pwede mangyari dyan. So, nung September 5, palabas siya ng video na pinangalanan ni Percy Lapid na lalaking Cinderella ng DOJ ang may-ari ng 11 kotse at isang mansyon. Tapos, September 7, mismo sa bunganga ni Mr. Bantag, nanggaling na sinabi niya, pinadala niya po yung video na yun kay Secretary Buhing Remulla. At sabi daw niya, ay nanghihingi siya ng payo kung anong gagawin niya doon. At pangatlo, sinabi rin niya na pinadala rin niya noong September 7 yung nasabing video na Cinderella doon sa Viber group niya sa loob na kung saan ang kasapi ay mga kaklase niya sa PNPA batch o class 96 or Philippine National Police Academy class 96 kasi 96 siya gumraduate. So ngayon, nagtatanong siya doon kung paano ang gagawin. At sabi niya, sinabihan siya ng kanyang mga mista na i-blatter sa pulis at kumaso siya. Hindi niya ginawa. So ngayon, yun ang pag-amin ngayon na mapapakita ng motibo na dahil doon sa pinalabas ni Percy Lapid at ikaw ay sobrang, sabihin na natin sobrang concerned. Huwag na natin sabihin na galit. Sobrang concerned. So, anyway, kung ganun ang mangyari, inamin na rin na siya. Siya yun, ang sa Cinderella. Ngayon, ay isa pang makikita ko na sinisisi Justice Secretary Remulla na pinasa na daw niya yung video na yun at di man lang daw siya sinagot. At sinabi pa daw niya, tatanong siya kung anong gagawin niya dito sa video na yun. Naghingi siya ng advice. Tika muna. Akala ko ba hindi ikaw si Cinderella? Akala ko ba tinuturo ng mga vlogger mo na Cinderella ay si Remulla? Bakit nagtanong pa kay Remulla kung anong gagawin mo si Cinderella na video na pinalabas ni Percy Lapid? Diba? Doon. Nahuli ka na doon. So,